Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk today about the first battle, the first match in the semi-final between Real Madrid and Manchester City, between the best manager of the world, Pep Guardiola, against the manager who won a lot and many underrate him, which is Ancelotti. He is winning for a reason. So it was interesting to see tactically who can outsmart the other manager. We're gonna discuss how both sides played, how each manager tried to outsmart the other one, and we're gonna tell you who win the battle by the end, and our prediction based on what we're gonna analyze today. So let us start by simply saying who has a better squad. I looked to most of combined 11. The Manchester City take most of the players, and that's my combined 11 here. I think aside from Courtois, Alaba, Vinicius Junior and Benzema, I think Manchester City outclass the rest. And even those four players, I think Manchester City players are very close to them, if not better. Like in case of Benzema, I don't know, because he's older now. Alaba, Courtois is very close to Anderson, so even those positions they are close. So overall, Pep have the manpower, but Ancelotti had the home advantage. So let us see who win the battle, and let us start by the simplest things, which is technically how each team is positioned. You can see Real Madrid is 4-1-4-1, and Kroos is as a DM, and you have the two flanks, which is Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior. They are more sitting to the midfield, but they are unleashed, and they can be third strikers, both three of them, with Benzema when the team in attack or a counter attack. City played more 4-2-1-3 with Grealish and the wingers, Grealish and Bernardo Silva, it's much more attacking position, and the fullback are much more higher. And Gundogan is playing like a link up between the DM, so sometimes he's DM, sometimes he's combining De Bruyne, and they become like 2 AM in the center of the midfield. This gives City less of advantage and less of quality, because Gundogan is a quality player and he's having one of the best seasons, and we see today in the match against Everton how world class he is. Now let us jump to the second one, which is what Real Madrid do when losing the ball. You can see straight away that when Real Madrid losing the ball, the team shrink and they become much more compact in the center. And what happens is Kroos go to the left side, while Valverde go and become two DMs. And the two wingers, they shrink to the mid, and they make it much more compact for City player to pass through them, because City play passing game. So Real Madrid, what Ancelotti thinks is, if I compact the mid, they struggle to pass my mid, and they struggle to make correct passes. Even Benzema, you can see him is coming back. So they compacted the mid, and they have options, because Benzema is there all the time to lead the attack, and the two wingers can release the attack. They focused a lot on the wingers because they thought City is weaker on the wingers. And by compacting in the middle, they're gonna force City in the middle, so they have more space on the wingers. Now, let us see what Real do when losing the ball high, which is in the other side of their game. When they lose the ball high, they don't compact defensively. They go on attack. Because it's too high, they have more players up front, and you can see how they close all the gaps between City player. Like if the defender want to try to pass, they basically close all the doors for him to pass, and they want him just to force them to send a long ball. So they have two phases of how to defend. One, if they are too high and have players committed up front, so they can close down. But if there is not too much number, they go back and shrink, like the first one which we see. But that's not the only one. Let us see now what happened when City are attacking. You can see here when City have the ball, they attack in numbers. You can see in how they storming towards the other team. They don't give them breathe, and that's how City do. How the fullbacks going to a central positions and trying to close the gap to the wingers, which is Rodrigo and Junior. So City thought they can control Real Madrid danger on the wings, because Rodrigo or Junior was most of the time Real Madrid hurt big teams. So by pushing them high and putting a player, those two players, they restrict Real Madrid from going out and trying to attack, and keep them in their half, thus creating more chances to score a goal, because they can pass their way and score a perfect goal. But that changed when they lose the ball. Now City, when they lose the ball high, sorry, yes, when City lose the ball high, you can see now the player want to pass the ball, and straight away they close the pass direction. They surround the near player around him, and the winger Junior, they put a player in front of him. There's almost like he doesn't have any opportunity, the player, to pass the ball. Real Madrid is basically strangled. They have a player to anticipate any passing, and by this way they're going to try to push back and make a mistake and then score a goal. So each team, but in general, that's the way City played. I don't think Pep changed a lot. He was so confident that he's going to beat Real Madrid. He didn't adapt the system, because his system is good enough. It's making him title, and it's making him one of the best team in the world. It's the best team. There is no argument about that. But Ancelotti slightly adapted his tactic and make them more compact in the center. Now let us see. Now let us see how both applied. This is the theory, how both applied it on the pitch. We're gonna go by chance, and you're gonna see who executed the plan better, who got in top of the other manager. Because when you put the two theories in practice, that's where you're gonna find out which theory was better. So let us see. Okay. We start first, like, I think that was early in the match, 8 seconds, and you can see already Real is on the defensive side. He's heading the ball. I think it is Rodrigo, and straight away he's being closed down here. You can see Manchester City going around, storming straight away just to push them on their half. You can see how many you have: 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 players against 2 on the center. And that 3 players here, they basically creating a wall which can prevent, if he get the ball here, Holland, he cannot pass it to those players. So he, by saying he be strangled, even if he get the ball, he's strangled because they have a wall here. That wall. And they created another wall. Now what they did is they split those 3 City players and those 3 City players as well. So basically they divided City players. They created barriers between them, and that's enabled them to get the ball comfortably, even if Holland tried to challenge, and offer options, because Rodrigo can pass it here, and then they have suddenly 4 players they can pass around, and those 3 players are isolated. This plan worked in perfection. What they did as well is, by pushing all being concentrated here in one side, they created a gap here. And now City gonna press to the player, not to the zone. They're not gonna be spread when they are closing down. They're going to go to where the players are. Now, because Real Madrid players are concentrated in that area, that leaves that big gap. So what they do is sometimes they pass it to that gap, and Valverde and Rodrigo can run to it, and even Carvajal, he can run to it, and suddenly they can be 3 against 1 in Kanji here, and that gives him a way to pass away Man City close down other teams. Straight away you can see they can run here and they can make a counter attack here. And if that doesn't work, they can do is they make triangles. That's what how Real Madrid played the whole match, is trying to get away either by long balls to the empty space or just creating counters, pass here, pass here, pass here, pass here, pass here, pass here. You understand? They can pass away their ball out of danger by simply taking triangles, which gonna basically make closing down harder to achieve its goal, because you all the time have 2 options to pass, and City gonna be tired trying to close down players in this situation, and we're gonna see it later on how that become very effective. Now we go like 4 minutes later. Now you can see City have the ball here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have all Real Madrid player defending. Junior is here because it's faster, and Benzema is defending here, and Rodrigo Jr. is just taking here, while the other right back Carvajal and other players are forming a very close, dense team. And you can see every player is close to another player of City, which make it very hard for this player to pass the ball. City defender is basically confused, and that kills the momentum to pass. When you cannot find a player and try to find a solution, and you cannot find the solution, that creates the chaos. And Ancelotti was very smart on how to handle City. Look here, he has even 2 players. Here, 2 players. Here, 1 player, 1 player. Here, 2 players. They surrounding basically all the options. You have now 2 players who are slightly empty, but Real Madrid just let them play, because what that happened, they can transition to them later on if they get the ball. So, because what they do as well is, if he try to pass it here, he can jump Junior here and he had to tackle it. He's aware of that. And if they try to pass it to that corner to Grealish, Rodrigo is here and he can tackle it. And then the other players as well can join them. And that compactness make it too hard for him to pass through that. So he was confused, and that's what disturbed City plan. We're gonna see here another chance. City has a ball. You have the 4-1-4 being exactly executed as Ancelotti wanted. You have Kroos. Kroos as a DM is important. Why? Because Real Madrid was relying on the counter attack. The minute City are gonna lose the ball, and they're gonna lose it because they are too compact in the central area. So they're gonna lose it. They cannot pass to that compact space. So they're gonna have ball to Kroos, and Kroos gonna send those long balls because he's a good passer of the ball. He has a great vision. So what they did is they make sure that Kroos all the time has empty space around him, just to have enough time to find the right pass and start the counter attack. Now Grealish has the ball, and you can see how compact is Real Madrid players. The only space they have is to pass it here to Gundogan. He didn't do it the first time, but in the same time you have 3 players Real Madrid who can close him down if that happened. He didn't get it the first time, but he did the second time, and you can see here the 3 players come to him, and one of them were in front of him, and the ball was out. So even when they left space, there's always a player available, an option available, because they are too compact to it, and they can run to your face, and they can disturb your game. And that's what Real Madrid managed to do. You can see how compact it is. Like, even if it passed the 3 players here, which is the front of him, you have still a jungle of players just in front of you. And that happened over and over and over. The Man City players shoot the ball, or it hit one of the defenders of Real Madrid. And what happened? Real Madrid have the ball, Kroos or another player have it, and they are in the counter straight away. Now, here, Camavinga have the ball, who played as a right back, a left back, and you can see City is closing them down, and they are blocking the position. Like here, it's blocked by this. If you pass here, it's blocked by here. It's pass here, blocked by here. If you pass to this way, you have two players and one player around them. So basically, they closed the option for Camavinga. They created 3 walls, which make it too hard for Camavinga to choose. Every option he has someone there to obstacle that way. And City was managed that to do very well during the match. And there was moments where, especially in the first half, like Real Madrid was in their half defending most of the time, because City kept executing that over and over perfectly. And that's the style of Guardiola. Now you can see City now having the ball in the back. Look how, in contrast of Real is much more compact. City is much more expanded. And what happened is Rodri come back, Gundogan come back. Rodri gonna be like a center midfield. Those two players, the two center backs, gonna split, so they create like basically 3, and allowing the 2 right backs to go up. And Gundogan can come closer to give option for the player to pass. So that's the way City play, by expanding the team, expanding the options, then making it much more clear vision for the player and options to pass the ball to. Plus, when you expand, you make it harder for the team to close you down, because even if you committed 1, then it's 1. If you pass to a compact area, there could be 2 players against 1 player. So by doing this way and expanding the team, you have much more option, and at least in worst case scenario, you're gonna have 1 against 1, and they can win the battle this way. The most difficult thing when you close down, if you are being closed down by 2 players, because they're totally gonna block your side, like it happened in the City in the first one. See here, like every player has many options in front of them. That's dangerous, because you're gonna lose the ball, and that's what happened to Real Madrid. But here you have much more option, because it's too wide between the players. The goalkeeper can pass to any player of those 6 without any problem. And this is why Pep was genius. You can see the lines, how big they are. Now City have the ball, and again, the same thing City do at the up when attacking defensively, trying to close them down. Real Madrid do it in their half. Like you can see, they blocked every option for the player to have the ball, pass them. Like Bernardo Silva have the ball, but he cannot pass to any player. This is blocked. De Bruyne is blocked because he has player cross come to him in front of him. Grealish is blocked. He has too many players, and you have cross as well there. So they restricted them. They created basically a wall which surrounded De Bruyne and basically cut other players from the pass. So he had no option, Bernardo Silva. And that's why, despite Man City taking the ball back a lot, they couldn't create a lot of chances, because Real Madrid were just compact and they were surrounding him, creating walls around the player. He cannot pass, because City doesn't dribble a lot. They depend on passing. So what Real Madrid and Ancelotti did is, let us stop them passing. Now, this is another chance, and you can see here clearly the 4-1-4. Ancelotti kept very well organized the team, and I think they've been drilled a lot how to do that. And look how that 4-1-4, and they basically, he doesn't have any option to pass, because all his vision is blocked. If he pass here, it's blocked. If he pass here, it's blocked. If he pass here, it's blocked, because he can't come here, he can't come here. You have 2 players around him who can jump on top of him. And you can see how compact it is, Real Madrid here. Like all of them in that small area. See, if he passes to this player, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 players who can surround that player. And that's what kept happening during the match. It was a good tactical game between the 2 managers. Now, let us see how Real Madrid, not only using the triangle to go out of closing down, how to use it on their attacking. We can see Camavinga is here, Junior is here, and Benzema. And look how they're going to change and swap position. You can see the triangles they can make if you want to go out of it, and even triangle between here and here. The triangle option and even between here and there, because he's gonna come closer and they're gonna create their triangles. That's how Real Madrid done all the work. And that triangle doesn't stay fixed. They keep on changing position, which make it much more difficult for the defender to know where it is going. And you can see here, Cavavinga gonna go this side, Junior gonna go this side to create and give him an option, while Benzema gonna go this side. And you can see here, so they pass it here. Now, the other player here, I think it's Valverde, gonna come here in that space because they are anticipating that this triangle can go this way with Cavavinga going back. So he gonna run to that space, and that's what happened. He ran to that space. Benzema passed it to Junior. Junior is gonna pass it to Vardy, and Vardy passed it to Benzema, and they have a chance, and almost he scored. So that's how Real Madrid played. Like if they don't counter, they're gonna build up the attack by creating those triangles, and they were very clever in doing those triangles. Now City trying to build up attack from the back, and you can see because Real Madrid having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players up front, they have the green light to close them down, and they did close them down. Like you have 3 here, 1 here, 1 here, and they are very compact area, and they are very closing down every player, so they are limiting the option for that player to pass the ball. He doesn't have any option. See, it's obstacle everywhere he want to pass in that range. There is an obstacle. Now let us see the goal, and it was one of the counter attack, and Cavavinga was running the ball. In the end, it passed by Junior, and the Junior has come up and scored the goal there. So they exposed basically Man City here in the counter, because Manchester City is very weak in the side, and especially in the flanks. That's where the attack start. And you can see them, they are basically 4 against 4, and those 4 were central. So it was really a difficult battle for those 4 to win that challenge, especially with the quality player of Junior and Benzema with his movement. Now City trying to play. Now this is what I said, Valverde can come and connect a 2 DM here. That's make it very difficult, and especially Real Madrid was winning at that time, so it makes most sense to be much more defensive. So Valverde were trying to be more the second defensive midfielder aside from with the Kroos, and they both can attack when needed, with Kroos staying much more in the back. But look how they transition now. They basically compact here, the middle area, all the 10 players, how they are in the small zone. While City spread, look how the line of City is spread, and look how the red line is spread. That's how much City is spread, and that's how much Real is compact. But Real Madrid have the ability to expand when they need it, because what they done is they closed it down in the center, so they knew City gonna go to the side, and they wanted them to go to the side, because then they can close them down and strangle them, and that's what happened. Because they can expand here, this kind of player come here, this one come here, they can expand, and that's what happened. The ball being passed to the side, Bernardo Silva, and suddenly Cavavinga now come to him, and look those 2 defenders, and look Valverde and Kroos, they come back. So suddenly he want to cross, those 2 play DM come back. Look how in the center they have 4 players, basically 4 players against those 3 beside this one. So this one gonna take Grealish, Carvajal. Basically you have 4 players against 2. So the Man City was basically strangled, and this player can even help here, and Junior can gonna come as well help if he's delayed his pass. And the problem is the only way he has to do was to pass it there or pass it to the back. They make it difficult, Real Madrid, for Man City to play their game. And this is the last chance of the game, and again it's a one time which we have the same example, and the players were able to close them down. In this example they were seconds days, milliseconds days, and it caused De Bruyne to have a good shot and it went inside. So it needed one mistake from Real Madrid to concede a goal, and that mistake is here, the positioning of Modric. Modric, he's a bit back. He should be extending that area much more to the front and be here. Okay, then he could have been closer to him, but because he's older, he's aged, his position was not right, and that allowed De Bruyne to score the goal. Now, you've seen the analyze. You have an idea how each manager tried to play, and each manager tried to go out of other team way, start to stop them. And overall, because City have a better player, and overall because Real Madrid was very smart how to defend compact and adapted their play to match and counter Manchester City strength, I think there is only one winner on this, and that winner is the master, Ancelotti. Ancelotti, I think, yeah, he was able to adapt his system. Pep didn't. He stick to his system. He knew where the strength and weakness of Pep is, and he compacted the middle area, he compacted the central area, and allowed them to push them in the side, then strangle them. And when they attack, they were clever. If they have numbers, they close them down up. If they don't have numbers, they compact there. When they attack, they were smart. Either they counter, either they create all those triangles, and those triangles were very effective near the match. If you watch it again, look how smart the movement of the players. They've been drilled to play that way. And that killed City, because City used to be 1-to-1 and like a racing game with the fullback, but having a triangle changed the dynamic. It was really difficult for City. Maybe they are not used to it in the Premier League, which is much more direct. But they struggled. City struggled during the match, and they got like a screaming goal from De Bruyne just to make it 1-1. What happened in the next match is Real Madrid gonna be as good as City. That's my prediction, because they stopped them, and they are able to stop them. It took one mistake from Modric not to be in the right position for City to score that goal. I don't think Real Madrid goalkeeper had any save to do. It's all the time was horrible shots. Basically, they put them in their pocket. But City have the quality, and they have home advantage. So I will give it 55 to City and 45 chance to Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid is still in it, and they will surprise some people, because this man is a smart man. People underrate how good he is. And I admire tactically how he did, because I watched other managers how they deal with Pep, and basically they go 1-to-1. But Ancelotti, he put his team in the pocket. He put Manchester City in his pocket, to be honest, with a less quality player. I respect the guy. So it built up for a great second match in Al Ittihad. I wish Real Madrid win, because I'm a United fan, but it's a pleasure. The first match was a pleasure to watch. Tactically, how both team plays and how you were in the edge of the match, just great to watch. And unfortunately, the semi-final should have been the final. So we're gonna go and wait for the second match, and we're gonna have another analyze and see if Pep can make a comeback and become the better manager, because for now is